All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to create one on the fly. And so this will be a little bit easier for you to get to, I think, but I'll go to edit and go to storytelling. And so then this is going to take you to your story, right? You're going to open up your common math formulas. When you guys do, or let me restate that. When you guys do your own stories, you're going to come to a page like this and you're going to click show storytelling and you're going to be able to do a once upon a time. All right. So what I want to do is I'm going to make up this story as we go. I have not made up this story yet, so that we can see how long it takes and how hard it is and what do we do when we run into a wrinkle. And the story will be a version 1, and if we decide that there's a better connection, then you change it, right? All right. But let's start off with Once Upon a Time, and we have all of our images here, right? So if I need to go back and see what these things look like, I'll do it. And the story may not be perfect, but it's going to be what it is. Our goal is to create quickly and easily take our memory objects, create a story by linking the memory objects to each other so that when I have one, I have the other. And then, of course, the test of this is going to be you taking your little quiz and saying, hey, is it easier for me to recall these objects? All right, but let's start off with our old friend, Ariel. All right, so our image for area of a circle is Ariel with a hula hoop. So that'll be how we begin our story. Okay, so once upon a time, Ariel was down in the sea spinning on her hula hoop when some evil divers came and grabbed her and they took her off to land and they made her join this circus that had a huge fence around it in a circle. Okay, so it was a circus with fences surrounded by a circle or inside of a circle. And Ariel had to work in there. She was very, very upset. And in fact, she every night they put her inside a little square picture frame to make sure that she couldn't get out. All right, and she was very, very unhappy there. And in fact, she was so unhappy that she started getting sick. So then, after a couple of weeks, a doctor stormed into the circus and ordered an operation where she would be removed from the picture frame. She would be cut out of the picture frame so that she could be free. Then she was so happy and came out of there that she started going around the country playing the triangle. Let me just get my image for a triangle. Playing the triangle to celebrate her release, right? So after a while, her music and the playing of the triangle was so good that a person decided to make a radio, put it on the radio, and it came out of everybody's music box or everybody's speakers very, very loudly, so loudly that it bothered the a bully. Okay, a bully who decided to come and he ran and he grabbed everybody's music boxes and he started running around. And for good measure, he saw a kid who was looking out of his telescope, and he grabbed the kid's telescope. Oh, that's a different image, but I like my telescope for this story. So he grabbed the kid's telescope, and the bully ran off, and he had all these music boxes that were playing really loudly and a telescope. The boy with the telescope was so sad at losing his telescope that he wanted to go to see a magician. And he saw this magician who was doing an act of transforming a mixed bowl of numbers. Right? Hold on. Mixed bowl of numbers. It's a little hard because it's too low. Into a pie. Okay? So again, the little kid, just to cement this, the little kid was sad because the bully stole his telescope, and he went in and did his the magic show. And what was the magician doing? The magician was turning a bowl of mixed numbers into a pie. But the magician was so amazingly good that he wouldn't just turn it into one pie, he'd turn it into multiplying pies. Lots and lots and lots of pies. All right, so let's just test this out and close your eyes, and I'm going to start telling a story and tell me what happened. All right, so first off, we start with Ariel down at the bottom of the ocean swinging her hula hoop. Then what happens? Okay, what happens, right, is that the divers come and they take her somewhere. Where do they take her? Okay, it's a circus, and it's a circus that's surrounded by a fence, a big circle fence, right? Okay, so then she's in the circle fence. Where do they store her at night? All right, Ariel's in a picture frame, if you remember. And is she happy in that picture frame? What happens? Very unhappy, gets sick, and then what happens? Because she gets sick, what happens next? Right, the doctor comes in and orders an operation. All right, so that one, you got to make sure you connect it. Order of operations. Now remember, we've already created that object. We created that memory object. So then next, what happens? Orders the operations. She's so happy about that what? She goes playing the triangle all around the world, right? And then it's so popular that what happens next? It gets put on the radio, but then it's playing out of a box at a very loud volume. Okay, so that's one that we need to make sure that that's a good connection. Okay, and if you have a better one, then do it. Then what happens because it's playing out of the box at such a loud volume? What happens next? That bully comes around and steals the boxes, and for good measure, he steals something else from someone else. All right, he steals a telescope from the kid. And the kid's sad about the telescope, so what does he do? He goes to the magician, who's doing what? What's the magician doing? Okay, the magician is transforming a bowl of mixed numbers into a pie. And the magician's so good that he not only turns it into one pie, but he what? That's right, transforms it into multiplying pies. All right, so remember, we have objects for each of these things. And now we have a story, if that's good, a story that connects it. And that's sort of how you can once you have your list of objects, and this is a key thing, you make your list of memory objects and you want to connect them. This is not the only way that we're going to connect things. We're going to learn over the next 2 weeks 2 more techniques for connecting them. But honestly, the storytelling linking, I use all the time. It's very easy, if you get good at it, very easy to just think and then link it, and then you've told your mind that you decide to remember this. So what I want you to do now is you can review these stories if you want, but what's really important is for you to go to your lists, right? On your home page, you go to your lists, and I want you to create stories for each of those. So there will be like a story link here that you can click on, and you'll be able to create a story on your list. And remember, I'll be adding some additional lists, and you'll have to create memory objects, create stories, create memory objects, create stories. This should be fun, but what it really is effective. All right? So that's what I want you to do today. I want you to practice this list, but make stories for your lists. And that's assignment number 1 for today. And then tomorrow we'll